Hello there, it's me, RJB, and after a whole 6 days, almost a full week, I have returned to deliver you some amazing Starcraft. Coming in hot with the music there in the background, not sure what the song is. It's called Gas Pedal by Diamond Ortiz, actually. So a shout out to Diamond Ortiz for this dope background song. It's copyright free. Feel free to use it in the future because, well, that's why I'm using it. Anyway, today we've got a match between Hamburgersasu. Here, the Hamburgersasu, the Burger Man. And he's up against the one and only KIMKISSAN, who is playing on a very, very long name made up of numbers. A lot of numbers. Like, it's just a long string of numbers. It's gonna be an amazing match, or so I hope, between these two players, and I think it's time that, even though the intro is a bit long and pointless and a little bit redundant and nonsensical, it's time to dive into the match and look what our players are up to. Oh, this is looking good. This is looking good. We got some pretty nice spawning locations here for Hamburgersasu and KIMKISSAN. KIMKISSAN here on the 9 o'clock spawn location. Also, let's turn off the background music. Let's fade it out real slowly, like this. Fading out, and it is gone. I think we've got to turn on the game music. Raise the sound a little bit, because I think it's a little bit too low. Just a tiny bit too low. Right about there should be fine. Right about here should be fine. This should be perfectly fine. Alright, let's put it like this. I hope this is perfectly fine. I'm still trying to figure out, for some reason all my sound settings on OBS reset themselves, and I slightly changed them compared to what I used to have, but still, it's like I'm still trying to figure out exactly what volume to put my sound on. What's the best sound setting? Still not quite sure. Alright, so we've got a little bit of a weird build coming out here from KIMKISSAN. He is going for Forge there in the front, then a Gateway. Not something we usually see all that much. Actually, we never see this in particular. This is something we never ever see anyone do. Ever, ever, ever. Never seen this before. It's, at least I've seen it before, but I haven't seen it in the high-level 1v1 fastest games like this one. Hamburgersasu, is he going cross-map? He's going cross-map. No, he's going for the middle, and he's going to the bottom. So, 2 gateway opening there from Hamburgersasu, and we are going for a cheesy opening here from KIMKISSAN. Probably Fast Dark Templars, because this does look like a Fast Dark Templar build order. Got the simulator there on the way in the back. We've got the Nexus there as well, of course, because without a Nexus we can't play. That's like, not sure why I even mentioned the Nexus. I don't know. I just looked at the Nexus and I mentioned the Nexus. I shouldn't have mentioned it, because it's kind of like, it's obvious. There has to be a Nexus. Why would I mention the Nexus? It makes no sense. Regardless of that, one cannon up there in the front, just to keep him safe a little bit. There's not much that can happen, so a single cannon at the moment is okay. We've got an academy there on the way. Very early gas as well, staying on the 2 barracks with a 2 barrack marine pump, going for fire bats once the academy finishes, and of course stim upgrade as well. He might try to run in or break through, although usually with 2 barrack production it's quite difficult to do to break through, but at least he's got the fire bats to defend. But he is expecting something funny, of course, although he never ever got into KIMKISSAN's base, so he doesn't quite know what KIMKISSAN's up to. But one thing I do know about KIMKISSAN, and Hamburgersasu probably knows this as well, KIMKISSAN loves Dark Templars. That's also why I immediately knew he wasn't going for a Reaper drop, but for Dark Templars. A lot of players like to go for, well, not a lot of players, but there's quite a good number of players who like going for this build order. They go Force, Gateway, Cyber, and then they go for a Robotics Facility and go straight into a really fast Reaper. But I know that KIMKISSAN would never do such a thing because he has a hard-on for Dark Templars. So Dark Templars is gonna be. What is he gonna achieve with Dark Templars? That I don't know. We have a second command center on the way in the back, no engineering bay yet, no scan yet either, because he has to finish the command center on the bottom first before he can make the scan. So things might get pretty ugly here for Hamburgersasu if he doesn't have the detection up in time, because we're already looking at a finished Templars archive, and we're gonna get 3 Dark Templars queued up there, although at the moment he can only afford a single one because he spent his minerals on a lot of canister in the front. Now he doesn't know that Hamburgersasu is not planning on breaking through, although he's planning on running some fire bats in there. So maybe this investment into those cannons was a very good idea. It's better to be safe than sorry. Got a cannon there in the back to protect against the fire bat coming up from the top side. He's gonna try to break through at the same time as his fire bat runs in for the probes. Like, yeah, doing it at the same time. Fire bats in the front, not really gonna achieve much, though they do kill the single cannon there, but the medics didn't heal up anything at all. The medics were kind of being very stupid. So the attack there in the front completely falls flat, it completely fails. But the 2 Dark Templars are out and on the chase on the counter-attack. We have the Engineering Bay there on the way. We've got the second command center almost finished, but no scan is up yet. He's gonna get the scan out very quick though, but he still doesn't yet know that the Dark Templars are on the way. He never saw the distortion of the air, distortion of vision. Now he knows though, now he knows. Scan there on the way, in the back, in the front there, killing SCVs and depots in the backside, trying to get something done. 2 turrets are going down there in the back. He'll try to wall off access to the turrets in the back, but he still has a lot of free fire going on everything else that's here in the base. 2 fire bats in the base trying to go for probes, but there's a Dark Templar there in the mix as well. He'll try to block it off, though it might not work. He might get on top of the probes there. He doesn't get any real significant probe kills, but at least he got like 1 or 2, but not the hit he was looking for. While he's suffering back at home, forced to cancel his factory, because Dark Templars were hammering away his 2 barracks there in the back. Not looking great for Hamburgersasu, but do note that right now, Hamburgersasu has everything in the back there protected by turrets and some marines. Not a lot marines, not a lot. It's like pretty much nothing at all. He's got about 12, he's got 10. Not even 12, he's got 10. Goes in for the hunt there on the Dark Templars. The Templars running away. 1 of them goes down. 2 of them go down. Number 3 also goes down. Number 3 also goes down. He kills 3 of them very quickly there. Great move there from Hamburgersasu. KIMKISSAN not really paying attention all that much during that particular span of time. Got a lot of barracks there coming up for Hamburgersasu because he has to make units. And the only units he can afford to make right now are marines. And barracks are the quickest to finish. Doesn't have a lot of room for error, not a lot of room for production either. But KIMKISSAN is trying his best to harass with the Dark Templars. On the way back at home though, he's got more Dark Templars on the way. He's sticking to the Dark Templars. He's just completely all out going for the Dark Templar cheese and hoping to achieve things that we have never seen before. But will it work? Will it work? That is the question, because Hamburgersasu is looking pretty well protected here in the back. And the fact that KIMKISSAN is going for such a low economy build order against a player who already has a +1 command center, I don't expect a lot to be gained. He did slow Hamburgersasu down significantly though, but the tech switch is lacking. If Hamburgersasu were to get attacked now by, for example, Dragoons, the Dragoons could literally deal a lot of damage, but the Dark Templars have a limited amount of effect because they have to get into melee range. So Hamburgersasu can very slowly crawl forward towards the outer edges of his base and very slowly secure his base against these Dark Templars. Slow process though, very slow process, and at the moment there's like 8 Dark Templars surrounding him. Any little minor mistake and he gets punished for it. KIMKISSAN is really trying his hardest to get as much done as he can with the Dark Templars, trying to keep as many of them safe as he can, but very slowly they will go down. They do get some returns though, they do get some returns. Hamburgersasu very slowly manages to keep the Dark Templars alive, has the scan upgrade, has energy on the scan, I think, 68 energy, but he's not yet using it, though now might be a great time to use it. Gets the surround on the Dark Templar goes down, there's now 5 of them remaining, but we've got a Templar, a regular Templar, and a shuttle there back at home, ready to be loaded up and flown in for the storm drop there on the SCVs. Will it hit though? That is the question. Now on 36 probes, he's adding on a Nexus. We've got 35 SCVs there from Hamburgersasu. We have the Starship, Starport, and we've got tanks as well, which Siege Mode finished. Stim and range for the Marines. More barracks is being added on because that's all he can afford to build, really. He has some leftover gas, but he can't really afford to expand too much. He needs Marines, and Marines are also great against shuttle drops. But it looks like KIMKISSAN might not go for the shuttle drop on the minerals, but might instead elect to storm on the marines. That might deal a lot of damage, but we do have some bunkers here, and bunkers are really great against storms. Now the question is, did Hamburgersasu anticipate the correct response to what KIMKISSAN is doing, or is KIMKISSAN going to catch him off guard and get some beautiful, great results in his favor? So far, I'd say the game is about even, but KIMKISSAN is a little bit bigger at the moment, a little bit bigger. But Hamburgersasu will have a lot of marines out on the map to help him defend, and as long as he controls those marines well, he will survive this for sure. KIMKISSAN slowly adding on units into the middle. He's got 3 Dark Templars there, added 4 Dark Templars added there into the mix. One SV does some scouting, gets some information, so he knows what's stacking up there in the front. Adding on even more bunkers just to make sure the storms cannot kill marines. Important detail, it is expensive to build all the barracks, all the bunkers I mean, but building all those bunkers is better than losing all your marines because those bunkers have a lot of value. Goes in for the attack, gets on top of the bunkers, but there's a lot of bunkers to fight into, and he immediately decides to turn back around, gets a storm on the SVs there in the back, going, kills most of the SVs there with the storms, kills 5 kills. I think he killed about 35 there in total, or well 30, because it was on like 46 I think. Well yeah, about 30 kills there with the storm. Great move there from KIMKISSAN. Distracts in the front, goes in from the side. Great little coordination going on there. Distraction moves are always really good to pull off, but there comes a dropship. But KIMKISSAN might have spotted it, although he is not. Yeah, he is responding to it. He's got 2 Dragoons returning back to home. He does have 3 cannons on the bottom side and now 3 Dragoons as well, waiting and ready to intercept that dropship. But because Hamburgersasu scanned this portion here, he saw the Dragoons moving in to intercept, so now he goes all the way around. But once again, he gets spotted out there by a probe. So once again, looks like Hamburgersasu is getting detected time and time again. Goons already moved into position to intercept the dropship. Here back at home though, we have another dropship moving out. There's 2 tanks in there as well. We've got a vessel as well for the Dark Templars, so he is prepared for a lot of different things, but at the moment he's still recovering from that drop on his SCVs. But do note, KIMKISSAN is not that big himself. He's only just about a minute ago finished his +1 Nexus, and he's not really producing any probes at the moment. He's focusing on using all this money to gather up an army and hopefully go for a finishing blow. But at the moment he's still occupied with that dropships, and the dropships coming in from both directions. He might not... Oh, this dropship might be able to unload both of the tanks. Both of the tanks that are sieging up. He's gonna get a shot off. No shot gets shot on the probe. The probes all stay alive. Now the game looks a little bit more grim for Hamburgersasu as his counter-attack managed to pull him back into the game doesn't succeed. And KIMKISSAN now at 52 probes and 76 supply pretty much means that he's completely maxed out, because usually people get 200 supply with about 75, 76 probes. He's on 52 probes and on 180 supply, which means that he's pretty much maxed out on his army. His base is also slowly growing bigger. There's not a lot to look at. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 10 gateways, but given that he's on a low economy build order, this is pretty good. And given that he's managed to keep Hamburgersasu somewhat small and contained and occupied, it's pretty good. Storm arrives on the scene, storms, and he hit 3 SCDs, not a lot of them, but at least he gets some economic disruption going on, something Hamburgersasu would rather avoid, because he wants to get a lot of SCVs, he wants to become rich, he wants to build, he wants to produce, he wants to be strong and big. But at the moment, he's not yet that strong, not yet that big. He's still staring down the army. Still, ooh, he draws some zealots in, but KIMKISSAN very quick with the reaction. Now KIMKISSAN goes in for the attack. They're in the front, and the Marines are pulling back to the bunkers, back to safety, because they know that if they stay out there in the front, he avoids the storms beautifully, or maybe the storms were just very poorly placed, but nonetheless, he keeps most of his Marines alive, and he keeps them all the way in the back, even behind the bunkers. And KIMKISSAN recognizes that he can't yet go in. He can't yet go in because there's a lot of bunkers in the front with tanks behind them, and that would cost him a lot of units to break through. It might not even be able to break through. So the bunker line there for Hamburgersasu really paying off really well. And KIMKISSAN decides against attacking for now because he cannot find the storms on the Marines. If he had stormed some Marines there, he most certainly would go in. Although he goes in now because more units have arrived on the scene, goes in with the surround there from every single side there on the front, Dragoons there in the back, firing on the bunkers. Templars, ooh, the storms are hitting, but also missing. Great dodge there from Hamburgersasu, but the tanks have gone down. One more tank there stays alive in the back. Gonna have to target fire the tank. He target fires it with the Dragoons. Great movement there. Ooh, double, triple storm there on the Marines. Almost all the Marines are down. Now he's trying to sneak in and go for the SCVs in the back, but an SCV blocks off the access point there. And the Templars eventually all go down, but not in vain. Not in vain. So KIMKISSAN expended about 100 supply in the army there to go for the attack, but Hamburgersasu defended that surprisingly well with great unit control and some great target selection. KIMKISSAN also did a pretty good job himself, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to really definitively build himself an advantage or kill Hamburgersasu. So we're going to be looking at some rinse and repeat strategies here, where KIMKISSAN is going to try to keep the pressure up on Hamburgersasu and try to at least kill his army or get his economy completely destroyed. KIMKISSAN now finally hitting that 70 probe mark in about another 14 seconds. Is going for carriers at the top side here as well. Is adding on a lot of starports. Still only on 10 gateways, although I do think he's adding on a no, that is not another gateway, that is in fact an Arbiter's Tribunal. His base looks very messy, his playstyle looks messy, but his attacks are so well executed, and he actually does everything he has to do, but it hasn't worked yet. Was very unorthodox, like the Dark Templar stuff is very cheesy, it's very unorthodox. If it doesn't work, you get slowed down a lot as well. The Dark Templars pretty much have to deal debilitating amounts of damage, and if they don't, you're kind of on equal footing. We've got even more bunker defense going on there in the front for Hamburgersasu. This is going to be absolutely disastrous and horrendous for KIMKISSAN to try and break through, but he has to try, he has to do something. The Marines are also pretty well spread out on the sides to defend against the storm drop, so that's pretty well done from Hamburgersasu. Is lacking some vision up on the hills there on the sides, but that is something you have to take. You just have to accept that that's your fate for now. Being forced into that corner. Oh, shuttle drop comes in, shuttle drop arrives somewhere about halfway, then gets taken down by the Marines and the turrets. Now we've got some side vision being produced there. Barracks is being lifted up, gonna be put up on the hill for some vision to defend against those shuttle drops. A little bit more reaction time. The army still bombing up there in the front. 2 shuttles there as well. Some Templars in the mix. Is he gonna go for the drop there on the minerals? So he's pulling. Oh, he's sending in those shuttles as a distraction, although he's pulling them back now. Getting on top of the bunkers. The tanks are too far away to really contribute in taking down the Dragoon. So this might actually be one of the few mistakes Hamburgersasu makes up until now. And the mistake is keeping his tanks so far in the back that his bunkers get taken down without much issue. Storm's also really great there. Oh, we've got an EMP, defensive matrix there on the back. Solid EMP come down as well. Great storms there on the Marines. A lot of Marines went down. KIMKISSAN is breaking through. KIMKISSAN probably thinks he's already won this game right here, right now. He's talking shit. He's talking smack. Although that's what I think, because I can't really read it. But I think he's talking some smack, but he eventually doesn't seem to break through. 86 probes now, carriers are on the way. Carriers on the way is a very, very bad news for Hamburgersasu, but Hamburgersasu has a lot of starports on the way, control towers as well. Ooh, picks up a Templar. Templar goes in. Templar unloads. Templar doesn't storm though. Templar gets taken down. Those small little moves that KIMKISSAN made there, a small little move like that, can really change the game. You notice there's a Templar there, you notice there's a shuttle there, so you might as well pick them both up and send them in for the minerals. And maybe there's a small chance that the Terran doesn't notice or thinks it's empty. I've done it myself. I've had it happen to myself. Sometimes you just think that the shuttle is empty or that it's not gonna work, and you don't pay attention to it, you ignore it, and all of a sudden, your workers are gone. That could have happened. But Hamburgersasu doesn't let it happen. See, all the barracks is there now getting lifted up. He is completely out of the Marine face. Marines are no longer that useful, because as we saw, a lot of storms taken down very easily. And Hamburgersasu is also a really mech-reliant player. He loves Valkyries, but he mostly loves Goliaths and tanks. Well, the Valkyries in this case are also on the way against shuttle drops, but he mostly needs them for the carriers. We've got 7 carriers that are on the way, more carriers are on the way as well in production. We've got stasis as well being researched. We've got level 2 armor upgrades there on the Zealots, and level 2 weapon, no shield yet. He might get shield there in the future because he needs shield upgrades for the carriers. So that small little attack there coming in just to throw away some units and open up some supply space. Templars are arriving there on the bottom side. The Templars and carriers. The Templars are going to try to storm the Valkyries if the Valkyries do ever come close. And Interceptors with the carriers, of course, just going to try to kill whatever they can, slowly gain some ground. A bit of a tug of war going on here. Valkyrie's going to hand Ingot back. We've got a Corsair there as well. Corsair just there for no reason really. A single Corsair doesn't do much, but it might as well be there. So more Valkyries have arrived and they're going to try to take care of those Interceptors. Marines, of course, are also assisting with those Interceptors. Got level 1 armor, level 2 weapon. To be honest, I believe he should have stuck with more barracks for a little while longer instead of lifting them all up. Because if you have level 2 attack, you might as well just make some Marines with medics to fight against the Interceptors. They do an amazing job against Interceptors, specifically. But he decides against it. So cannons coming up there on the side. Cannons can shoot over the hill on this spawn location, I think. Maybe it's from top to bottom. I think it's from top to bottom. I don't think they can shoot over this hill. They can shoot over this hill. These tanks are taking care of the cannons because that's important. You don't want to get contained. But the Valkyries coming in, carriers coming in, and the carriers retreat immediately. But that's a lot of damage coming down there on the carriers as the Valkyrie shots return back to the carriers. But he has some shield batteries there to heal up the shield. He's gonna drop there in the back as well, ready to get picked up. 4 Templars into the shuttle. It's gonna try to sneak that one in under the cover of the Interceptors. Level 2 weapon upgrade there finished for the tanks. Level 2 armor also on the way. Air upgrades are on 1-1. Shuttle there tries to sneak in, but it's gonna get killed by the AoE from the Valkyries. Doesn't really have to target fire, it still stays alive. Instead, loads of Templars up on the hill so you can storm on the Valkyries and the Marines. Kills the Marines there on the bottom side. Beautifully done there. And that's a screenshot as well for the video. So yeah, the Templars there kill some Marines, but don't really kill all that much. Also, didn't get a shot up on the Valkyries. The Valkyries, though, are nicely stacked up. And we've got an Arbiter already flying cross map, ready to join and stasis those Valkyries. His base is still a mess. He didn't build all that much. He's building some stuff on the middle there, some cannons, some gateways also coming down. Mostly focusing on this carrier shield battery base there. Carrier is not having much success because the Valkyries in the back are so damn strong. And every time he pulls back, the Interceptors pull the Valkyrie missiles into the carriers, which damages the carriers. So not only is he taking down Interceptors, whenever the Interceptor count goes too low and the carriers are forced to retreat, the carriers take a lot of damage. Sometimes they lose 100, sometimes they lose 300 HP when they return and retreat from an attack, and that's all Valkyrie AoE damage. The bigger the number of Valkyries, the harder they hit. Like, they just do 6 damage in one, and then there's a little bit of an AoE aspect, which also deals some damage. Arbiter comes in for the stasis. Hamburgersasu notices and pulls back. Tries to throw an EMP in there, but the EMP completely misses. KIMKISSAN micro his... Oh no, the Arbiter comes in. Arbiter doesn't stasis. He holds on to the energy. Doesn't want to lose the Arbiter. Ooh, one Arbiter goes down. Still has one of them left. He's going to try to stasis once again. He gets a stasis on himself. Oh, that is a disaster. He misclicked on an Interceptor, this one right there, this little bugger. He misclicked on the Interceptor and killed his own carriers with the stasis. Oh dear, oh lord, oh no. Oh, that is some bad luck there for KIMKISSAN, as he's now completely out of carriers, except of course these 5 hanging here. But still, that is a bummer. Because if he had gotten the stasis off on the Valkyries, he could have at least locked like 7 or 8 Valkyries into stasis and then maybe gone for the push there for the command center. But now he's just a sitting duck, waiting for his carriers to unfreeze. And once they unfreeze, they get shut down immediately by the Valkyries. They're gonna try... Oh, with 6 carriers even. He's gonna try to sneak out of there, but the Valkyries are on the chase. Valkyries gonna take them all down, and yes, they do all go down. I don't think a single one's gonna survive. 7 HP. That's 2 more rockets, and this one, about 10 more rockets and would have been taken down, but that is close. But these 2 carriers being so low on HP are pretty much useless in my opinion, because they will go down very, very quick. Now all of a sudden you've got 12 supply space opened up that previously you had in use, and have to now reproduce. But Hamburgersasu now on the counter push, breaking into the middle with the tanks and the Goliaths. Beautiful push there from Hamburgersasu. We've got a gateway base coming up here in the top side of the map. Oh, wait. Sorry, I had to pause for like 2 minutes. But I'm back. You probably didn't notice. To you it was probably like 1 second, but for me it was like 2 minutes. So I'm a little bit out of the momentum, but I'm going to try to get back into a lot of cannons being built there on the middle, because we've got Hamburgersasu breaking out without mercy. He's going to try to break through, gain as much ground as he can before the carriers come back into play. And he's going to do it. He's going to break through. He's going to go all the way. He's going to go all the mile, the longest yard for sure. Some carriers have finished back at home. He's got interceptors in production. But this is a lot of tanks and Goliaths on the middle breaking through. Got Valkyries back at home ready to either intercept shuttles or go for the strike on the carriers once the carriers do appear. He's scanning everywhere on the map. Although I'm too late. Yeah, he saw the... I think he saw the gateway base on the top side. I think he saw the shield batteries on the bottom side. He pretty much scanned everything on the map to get as much information as he can and could to help him decide what to do. And he's just going to go for the push. He's just going to go straight for KIMKISSAN's base. KIMKISSAN, how many carriers does he have there in the back? 6. I've got a couple more of them on the way, very close to finishing, but it's gonna take a while. But he's going for a counterattack with some Zealots. The Zealots are sneaking into the base, but there's some Goliaths and tanks are back at home. But the Zealots are getting right on top of the Goliaths, and this might hurt him a little bit. So Zealots with full upgrades are pretty darn strong, although Hamburgersasu himself is no slouch, as he's got 3 upgrades on his tanks, but he's deciding to pull back. He doesn't want to take the risk. He's pulling back because the Zealots are actually doing more damage than they should. And there's only a single tank left alive back at home. Tanks are sieging up there right next to the hill to stop any more units from breaking through. He put in the units there on the middle to intercept whatever comes in. The Zealots are going for the turrets on the side, although he could also go for the SCVs in the back, because there's nothing to protect those SCVs, so those tanks are now spawning, rolling up to the top side, ready to stop these Zealots from wreaking havoc. But while that happens, KIMKISSAN has managed to recover and rebuild his carrier army. 9 carriers at the moment, and we've got 3 more on the way, so it's going to be a total of 12 carriers, assisted by some arbiters and possibly a lot of other different units as well. Not sure what else he's going to mix in. He's going to throw away a lot of probes, because as we all know, once you've got carriers finished, you only have to buy their interceptors, which doesn't cost a lot of money. They also don't die that quick. The carriers stay alive for very long. So you can afford to throw away like 12 or maybe even 24 probes. Open up supply space for another 4 carriers, maybe some Corsairs, some Templars, maybe a Storm Drop, whatever you want to mix in. You kill those probes and open up supply space. Now 57 probes and 74 SCVs. Hamburgersasu also getting pretty damn rich. He's gonna clear out these tanks on the bottom side, although he already lost this army. Well, this proxy base here of shield batteries, but might as well kill all those tanks. Hamburgersasu also siege killed his own SCVs there. See, on this side he siege killed this side with this tank, then unsieged it. So he also opened up his own supply space in response to KIMKISSAN opening up supply space as well. So now 51 SCVs against 57 probes. We're going to be seeing massive armies fighting against massive armies, and their banks are slowly going to get tiny little bits smaller. Tanks there in the front are sacrificing their lives because there's no ground coming in, so might as well just siege them up and let them die, as the Valkyries in the back are slowly firing from afar on the intercept. We've got some Corsairs coming in as well, although the Valkyries are pretty stacked up here in the back, and the Arbiter has energy for 2 Spacei. He's splitting them up in response as quick as he can. Beautiful move there. Something we don't often see players do is splitting up their Valkyries to ensure that only a couple of them get mixed up into a stasis. The carriers are in the back though are not doing that great. Now he's going in with some Valkyries, but he splits them up before the stasis can happen. The Arbiter still hasn't used his stasis. He's waiting for the perfect moment. He goes in for a moment. He goes in for the stasis. He gets the vessel as well. He gets double stasis. I think he got about 8 or 7 of them, but more Valkyries are coming in from the back there, and more Goliaths are going in as well, as more tanks have died and can replace the tank with the Goliaths. Now he's chasing down the carriers. The carriers, they're going for the return fire behind the hill, but the carriers are taking massive amounts of damage from the Goliaths, from the Valkyries, and this might just have been a lost fight there for KIMKISSAN, although now the Interceptors. Yeah, this is definitely a lost fight there for KIMKISSAN. He's definitely going to switch over into a Gateway army, because he already has about 14, 15, 16 Zealots there finished up on the top side. Got Goliaths, Dragoons and Zealots queued up as well. Some cannons in the middle to slow Hamburgersasu down, but those 4 cannons won't amount to much. Going to finish off these shield batteries there on the bottom side first, and then proceed into the middle. Also sending tanks to the top side to take care of this Gateway mass, but Gateway mass coming from 2 sides there at the same time. Arbiter's also on the way for Stasi. This is going to be a brutal, bloody fight of Gateway mass against Factory mass, although Hamburgersasu, after using his scan, sees that there's a lot of Gateway units, so he's deciding against moving out at the moment. He doesn't feel safe just yet. He wants to have all of his units finished. He wants to get a little bit more supply space, because he was on 198, now 200 once again. Throws away his carriers as he sees that there are no more carriers in the way, so Valkyries can be thrown into the trash, and so he does, throws them straight into the trash. KIMKISSAN sending his army into the middle, preparing for the attack. He splits them all up somewhat nicely, I'd say, but then he balls them all up. What I do in this situation is split them all up into 4 groups and go for the surround on the mass attack from Hamburgersasu that is moving out of the base. But he's kind of got them balled up there in 2 separate groups. Does the same thing, same trick, same effect really. Gonna scout onto the sides. Gonna see if there's engineering base to kill or barracks to kill, because Hamburgersasu is establishing side division control. Hamburgersasu also pushing out very slowly, moving a line of tanks forward, sieging them up, unsieging the back line, and moving them into the front, and slowly getting and gaining ground. But it is a dangerous game, and the longer he takes, the more cannons will be on the middle, the harder it will be to break through, and the more energy these Arbiters will have. Tanks are there up on the hill though, some Goliaths as well. The Goliaths help against shuttles trying to unload units up onto the hill, and the tanks can then control the middle from the hill. They will do a lot of damage to this entire mass army from KIMKISSAN. KIMKISSAN is not taking the bait. Not yet. Valkyries once again scouting the map. It's got so many Valkyries. This is a lot of supply. It could be fighting supply lost on anti-air. And there's no actual air on the map for KIMKISSAN. KIMKISSAN has no actual air army. So still a little bit of dancing back and forth on the top side. We've got units unloading here on the top side as well. Tanks now take control of the entrance point of KIMKISSAN's base. KIMKISSAN also throwing away a lot of probes to open up even more supply space, but that might be the wrong move. So now he goes in for the attack, kills pretty much everything as the stasis on the hill locks those tanks up on the hill into a freeze, which enables him to move out into the middle and go for the attack. But the tanks here on the bottom of the hill are proving to be quite difficult, quite annoying. But he breaks through, breaks into the base, and now there's no army back at home to defend. We've got units on the way here in between those factories, and they're going to spawn very soon. Might even spawn just in time. But KIMKISSAN is broken through. EMP comes down on some Templars and some Dragoons. Going to try to at least take away their shields, and he does so quite successfully. But there's so many units coming in. Hamburgersasu might just be in a very bad situation. He does have raids on the way, I think. Raids are his last line of defense. His last effort, his last hope. Storms on the tanks. One more storm alive there in the back. No, the storms are gone. He's going to go for the SCVs. The SCVs are running away towards the gas, trying to stay alive, but there's no storm. There's an Archon morphing though. But Dragoons are everywhere inside the base. Now the tanks on the hill though are unfrozen. And because they're unfrozen, they're going to slow down this advance from the middle. These reinforcements are not going to arrive anytime soon. Same for these tanks. They're really disrupting the flow and the influx of units into Hamburgersasu's base. Also, more Goliaths and tanks on the hill should help him with defending, and he barely defends that attack. He barely defended it. And only because these tanks up on the hill there and these Goliaths all unfroze from the stasis, allowing him to block the influx. Very close, very close. Very, very close. Closer than it would appear. Hamburgersasu was almost dead. If he didn't have those tanks up on the hill, he would have for sure been taken down. So they do end up saving the day, but they haven't yet won the game. KIMKISSAN here has almost no money coming in whatsoever. 44 probes, 6,000 minerals. He has some time to replenish his worker count and get a little bit of a bank back again. But Hamburgersasu is maxed out on 60 SCVs, which means he also rebuilt about 15 of his own SCVs to recover his economy, because his economy is bleeding, or was bleeding out quite a bit. Mass tanks there loaded up along with raids. I already know where this is going. But there's also a pretty big tank, Dragoon and Zealot army on the middle. Some Templars mixed in as well. Templars getting picked up for a storm drop. This is basically going to be a big trading gamble. Hamburgersasu goes for the Wraith mass tank drop attack there on the Nexus and the probes, which might just work, because KIMKISSAN hasn't noticed, although now he's starting to notice, I am sure. He's pulling back. He's pulling back a drop there, pulling back something. Oh, he's got the carriers finished up, but the carriers have no interceptors. The tanks arrive just a little bit too early. Goes, sieges up, goes for the Nexus. Nexus taking critical damage. The probes there staying alive though, but the Nexus goes down for sure. Ooh, 83 HP left. One more it stays alive. The Nexus stayed alive on 83 HP, but it stayed alive. We now have carriers back in the mix, and a lot of death units. A lot of death units there for Hamburgersasu, but he queued them all up as fast as he could once they all went down, and he also kept the dropships alive. He's going to pick up more units as fast as he can. No time to lose. He has to take down the Nexus, and KIMKISSAN might not be expecting another attack on the Nexus, as his carriers are already moving out for the attack, although they might just catch those. He might just catch the dropships. He's already pulling back. He's going to try to snipe them out of the air with the carriers. You have to carrier micro this to his best ability. Gets one, gets two, gets number 3 as well. All Hamburgersasu needs is about 2 or 3 shots. Kills number 4, 5, and 6, but there's more dropships there on the way, arriving on the scene. Unloading, gonna shoot on the... Is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it? No, he doesn't get a single shot off on the Nexus itself. But that is unfortunate for Hamburgersasu. He had to move out as fast as he could to stop the defenses here back at the Nexus from increasing. But he intercepts it with the interceptors. So interceptors really are interceptors, as they intercept the dropship as it was going straight for the Nexus. So great job intercepting those dropships interceptors. Great job, good job. So yeah, once again tries to move out with the tanks there, but the carriers on the side are now picking off side vision. It's going to restrict the playing field for Hamburgersasu, restrict his reaction time to this shuttle drop that's for sure coming in. Got Raids and Valkyries there in the back as well. We've got an Observer there to protect the carriers, but I'm not sure if the Observer is going to join the carriers, because he's been hanging there for quite a while. Oh, the Raids come in and snipe the Observer. Oh, he has some cannons there to protect his Raids, to protect his carriers. Oh no, the Raids are going straight for the Nexus. Nexus has some HP there though. And to fly over a bunch of cannons as well. Goes in. Oh, the stasis is so clutch. The Nexus stayed alive. But those Raids, they're going to unfreeze anytime now. And KIMKISSAN has to wait back at home with his carriers to take down the Raids as fast as he can, which now means that the tanks can move into the middle and take over control of the middle. KIMKISSAN has some units on the middle though, but I don't think those units are enough to deal with all these tanks and Goliaths. This is going to be a bloody push. He's going to gain a lot of ground while the carriers are back at home waiting for the Raids, so he can save and protect the Nexus. Gaining a lot of ground on the middle there, gaining a lot of ground. He's saving up his mass for now. He's waiting for this to blow over, for this to be over. Alright, he protects the Nexus. Time to move out, time to strike back and kill all these units on the middle. There's not a lot of anti-air. He does have about, I think, 14 Goliaths. I don't think that's enough. A lot of gateway units on the top side here as well. I think this fight is going to go pretty badly for Hamburgersasu as he's splitting up his army. He's splitting up his army to every single direction, and KIMKISSAN takes this chance to go in for the attack. Hamburgersasu might have pulled back into the middle just in time as more units are coming in to reinforce, but a lot of units there loading on top of the tanks. Gateway units are also getting right on top of those tanks. Ooh, loading zealots on top of the tanks with the shuttles. The Arbiter comes in from the back. Tanks are pulling back into the base, sieging up. Valkyries are moving forward. Is he gonna do this? Ooh, Valkyries intercept the shuttles there. It's going for the interceptors. And now the Arbiter comes in. The Arbiter stays on every single Valkyrie except this one there in the back. So the Valkyries are out of contention. And now Hamburgersasu is facing a big army. A lot of carries as well. But in come the raids, and the raids take down the Arbiter. Raids have no energy for Cloak at the moment though. They're running away, buying time for Cloak. There's an Observer in the back as well. He didn't snipe the Observer. Carries are moving forward. Carries are gaining ground. Zealots are gaining ground as well. This game has just flipped. This game is tense. This game is close. Ooh. Hamburgersasu is going to try one last final effort. One last trick up his sleeve. He knows the Nexus is on low HP. He scans the Nexus. He's going straight for the Nexus. Got about 150 HP. Raids are coming in hot. Raids are going straight for the Nexus. He storms. He misses the storms. He storms his own probes. Nexus goes down. All the raids are down as well, but the Nexus is gone. And the game is now looking ugly for KIMKISSAN as Hamburgersasu has managed to rebuild his entire army and is ready for defense. He's got a lot of Goliaths, a lot of raids. I think he's got Valkyries on the way as well. Some tanks in the mix too. Oh, this game, if he hadn't killed the Nexus, this game would for sure, or could for sure have been a win for KIMKISSAN. And KIMKISSAN is now pretty much broke. 34 probes and a little bit of an army on the middle. But given that he's only got 34 probes, he does have a lot of gas though, a lot of gas. Oh, he's not really mining gas anymore. This game can still go either way, but at the moment it's looking really, really good for Hamburgersasu. Looking really good for Hamburgersasu. We have the carriers that are ready to go in. We've got a lot of Corsairs as well to take care of the raids and the Valkyries. Hamburgersasu scanned it. He saw the Observer, saw the Corsairs, knows he can't go in with the raids. Although he's going in for a surgical precision move, raids are moving forward, ready to snipe the Observer. He's scanning forward. He found it. He kills the Observer. Observer goes down. Now we've got the raids there having free fire on the carriers. Free fire. Oh, he storms them to death. Kills both the shuttles there though, so he prevents the storm drop on the probes. Well, at least he stopped the storm drop. That was a good move from Hamburgersasu there. But there's another Observer already arriving on the scene, ready to protect the carriers. KIMKISSAN just killed all of his last remaining probes and is going for an all-out 200 army attack, moves in for the attack. A lot of Goliaths and Valkyries there, taking care of the Valkyries. The Valkyries not having a great time. The Zealots are moving in a little bit too early. A lot of them are getting taken down. It looks like Hamburgersasu has the game. Vessel there, almost on 100 energy. Gonna go in for the EMP there on the carriers once it has enough. Goliaths are moving forward step by step, sniping everything they can. All the intercepts are going down. Ooh, the EMP came down on the carriers. No more shields on the carriers. The EMP served its purpose, and KIMKISSAN leaves the game as he knows the game is over. There's no longer a chance to make a comeback, no longer a chance to win, and Hamburgersasu takes home the win after 42 minutes of epic back and forth action. Beautiful performance from these two players. KIMKISSAN against Hamburgersasu. Always a treat to behold. Hamburgersasu played really, really solidly. KIMKISSAN played really solidly himself as well. But whenever Hamburgersasu has a great game, he really does have a great game. KIMKISSAN tried to cheese his way into a quick and easy win. Couldn't do it, but had some great other tricks up his sleeve. But Hamburgersasu, with his great scan use, knew everything that KIMKISSAN was trying to trick him with. So that's the game for today. Hope you enjoyed it. It was a long one. It was a pretty long replay. Pretty action-packed as well. Really hope you enjoyed it. So come back for another video sometime this week. Not sure when, but it for sure will arrive. Without a doubt. Have a great day. It's the match between Hamburgersasu came out on top, so let's just do this fun little thing. Like, I'm just gonna make him really, really big. Ooh, he won the game. He is the victor. He is Hamburgersasu. And now we need some cool background music, but I'm not going to find background music right now. So let's just call it a day here. It was a nice game. Have fun. Goodbye.